Hello, second graders. It's Miss Collier. I'm going to show you a mini lesson on how to do a story map. For reading, you do have one assignment to do in Wednesday for the Wednesday virtual assignments. It's not going to be on the story I'm going to talk about. We're going to do an old story called Tea with Grandma, and that was from ReadWorks. So I'm going to show you the story map. It looks just like the one that's going to be on your Wednesday virtual learning assignments. But first, we always got to talk about the target. So I'm going to get boom. So the learning target, we gotta know what we're talking about. There's a target. So right now it says today I am learning how to recount events in order so that I can retell a story appropriately. That's a big word. Appropriately. And I have an underline. And what that means is you want to make sure you're doing it correct. You're doing it right. Okay, so we're going to make sure that when we recount, that means retell in order, sequentially, we want to make sure that it's done correctly, and the big word is called appropriately. So that is our target. So let's get to it. I have my timer on, I always have my timer on. So this is, if you remember, this is called Tea with Grandma. We did that on readworks.org. I'm going to show you the parts that are complete already of the story map. And it looks just like the one that you will see on your Wednesday virtual assignment page. So we have our name at the top. That's my name, Miss Carr. You put your name at the top, and this is called a story map. A story map. And then you have 5 parts. You have your setting. You have your characters, beginning, middle, end. Setting, that's where the story takes place. Characters, beginning, middle, and end. So if we go back to the target, we have to recount the events in order. And that's where this part right here comes. In order. You have your first part, the middle part, and then the end. That's called the beginning. So, briefly just telling you this, we talked about Tea with Grandma. There were 2 main characters, and that was Grandma and Ravi. Grandma and Ravi. If you remember, it was a social studies assignment, ELA assignment. We talked about maps. We talked about countries. We talked about states. Remember, Texas is where Ravi lived, and India is where Grandma lived. So it basically was talking. Basically, the story was in Texas the most. And remember, I said Texas is just like Georgia. That is a state. India is a country, just like the United States of America. So it brings us, if we want to retell a story, remember we did our sandwiches? So now we're retelling a story or events based off of something that we read. And we read Tea with Grandma. We read that. So here we go. Let's recount. Let's retell. In the beginning, Ravi missed his grandma. And he missed when she came to Texas. Because she was older, she couldn't travel that much. Then or next, it says Ravi called Grandma about a cup of tea. They used to drink tea when he was younger, and he just missed those things that he did with Grandma. And then at the end, Ravi's mom actually took a picture of him drinking the tea, and then she actually showed Ravi how to email it to Grandma. So this is a story map of what happened from the beginning and to the end. And it has where the story took place. That's that W word, one of those 5 W's. And it also has the main characters. So you're going to see this is called a graphic organizer. It lets you know where it took place. Who are we talking about? What happened? What happened in the beginning? What happened in the middle? What happened in the end? And I'm going to show you on the next video or probably in class how this is actually going to turn into a story, like on that loosely paper and that notebook paper. So back to me. That's just a mini lesson on how But you know what? You got to read first. I always say, always read first. That's how you get your answers in reading. You got to read the story. You have to read the story. That's how I was able to story map, and that's how you're going to be able to story map. So you're going to have a different story, not about tea with grandma. You're going to have a different story to do, and you're going to have to do the same thing that we just did on this story map. So make sure you keep smiling, and I'll see you soon. Bye.